How's it going, everybody? This is Supervision Required. This is your host, Nick Schuler, along with my co-hosts, Jack Harper and Dustin Mullen. Tyler will not be joining us. He's dead. Everybody want to say hi?
What's up, everybody? It's Jack.
Back at it again. This is Dustin. Didn't know.
They probably didn't. Anyway, topic today is going to be conspiracy theories. It has been something we have wanted to talk about for a long time here. We're all really interested in it. I'm like the reasonable one, and these two crazy motherfuckers are basically...
You just don't open your eyes.
There's believable stuff out there.
They're both crazy. I'm the responsible one.
We're going to stop that part.
Okay. We're going to start off with JFK. Now, this is the only one that I truly actually believe in because it's like too weird not to be true.
Sketch as fuck.
It's sketch as fuck, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely not the way the government said it was.
Basically, you know, some crazed ex-Marine or Marine wannabe. Was he an ex-Marine?
He was.
Sure.
He was? Okay, so crazed, yeah. Lee Harvey Oswald, the crazed ex-Marine, makes a shot from a couple hundred yards away with a rifle that probably broke right after he fired the shot. So,
Shots.
Yeah, shots.
Allegedly.
Plural, yeah.
Well, definitely 2 shots or more, but whatever, but not for one person.
And you know that he fired those shots quicker than a U.S. Navy SEAL could fire them.
Which is impossible.
With great accuracy.
With perfect accuracy.
But hitting a moving target.
At several hundred yards away.
With, after review, supposedly multiple objects probably would have been in the way. Like the street sign, or the, street light? Or whatever it was.
The street light. Yeah, it's just really fucked up. Like, I totally don't believe this story. There was most definitely a shooter on the grassy knoll or on the bridge.
Yeah, probably.
Who here would like to hear a story
What do you
about
think
About a bridge.
what actually happened then? There's like quite a few different, theories.
Oh, I think
What do you think it was?
Oh, I think that Lyndon Johnson paid the mob off to assassinate him.
I agree with you. I think it was the mob and government.
And Lyndon Johnson, yeah.
Wasn't there a lot of evidence, because we had watched a bunch of videos over this, and in high school we watched a few of them, and one of them, I remember in our history class, said there was a lot of evidence. Not sure what it was, but they said a lot of it was like covered up and no one understood why, and then they mentioned something about the mob. So I can believe that.
Well, there are definitely a bunch of documents that got like classified for no reason.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff.
So, it's one of those things where when the documents come out, we might actually learn something about it. I really do think
if they even give us.
Yeah, if they even give us the documents.
The actual
unedited documents. Yeah. The thing is that I'm pretty sure that JFK was pretty much universally hated by most people in the government. Like, not the actual people, but definitely the government.
Yeah, they were not happy with Vietnam, and the mob was pissed at him.
So,
which is why I think...
JFK is just all good going around banging Marilyn Monroe and stuff. But then... but then you've got, everybody else hating on him. So, Lyndon Johnson hires the mob to assassinate him. There's a shooter on the grassy knoll, and Lee Harvey Oswald takes the fall, and then gets killed himself by a mob guy.
And that right there,
who then dies from cancer 6 years later.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
They planted cancer on him.
They injected him with cancer, obviously. That's how that went over.
Exactly.
So,
it was aliens.
It was aliens. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think it was the mob as well, Dustin?
Yeah, dude. It's 100% not what we've been led to believe it was. That's for sure. It could have been a few different things. Each of the theories I've heard, they all have some evidence supporting. So, but I definitely think it was the mob. I think JFK was doing some good things. And
yeah, wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald murdered before anything even happened?
Yeah, dude,
he
didn't even make it to
a
trial. Yeah, he
exactly.
was on his way somewhere else.
See,
and Jack Ruby got
sketchy
him.
as fuck. And then you have to think also, all of the gun they found and everything. Half that shit could have been planted. You know what I mean?
Well, the gun, they say it would have been impossible to fire 2 shots in the way so fast. It was I think 1.5 or 1.3 seconds or something like that. And they say not only is that impossible to shoot that fast with that gun, but with that accuracy, the accuracy of like a great marksman. He wasn't a Marine sniper.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I think they just pinned it on the dude that was
with the fact that he might have been
there.
a Marine because he wasn't exactly a sniper, So
Okay, so he was killed by Jack Ruby, who had mob affiliations. First of all,
Boom.
he at the time of the murder of Oswald, he was on a nervous system stimulant drug. So he had somehow gotten a drug to stimulate his brain and his nervous system, and then, like I said, he died. He died 3 years later as he was about to file his appeal, because he got convicted and charged of murdering Oswald, and then he was about to appeal it, and before he appealed it, he became ill and died of lung cancer.
Also could be a cover-up.
Yeah.
You never know. Like with JFK, dude, with his head, when they went to like examine the head wound, it had been tampered with. It had been fucked with between.
That's another thing I remember from. I'm just saying the videos we watch, because I don't want to like get just engulfed in these videos, but I mean, come on,
It's hard not to.
It's hard not to. Like when they say a lot of that shit was tampered with, like what Nick said, a lot of the files, and then I remember them saying parts of the body, and then even the car. Like people would try to like take looks at the car and stuff was being, blocked off to where people.
They definitely did not lock down the crime scene.
Okay.
Or even if they would have, if it was a government, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So this is a quote. It's just on Wikipedia, so take it for what it is. Not long before Ruby died, according to an article in the London Sunday Times, he told psychiatrist Werner Tudor that the assassination was an act of overthrowing the government, and that he knew who had President Kennedy killed. He added, "I am doomed. I do not want to die, but I am not insane. I was framed to kill Oswald."
The fucking Illuminati.
Framed to kill Oswald. I mean, he killed him.
Well, I think he killed Oswald, but
the mob was like, "You gotta kill him."
It was covered. There was some sort of. He was the fall man, basically.
He was probably in deep with someone, and they told him that if he didn't do it, he was going to die anyway.
Or he thought that he was going to get out of it. Like paid off or whatever, and they were going to pay people off and get him out of it. But he was actually just took the fall. He was actually the fall man.
It's one of those things I think we're just never going to really know. Honestly, and it sucks.
Unfortunately. Yeah, and then another thing, like, I think I watched the documentary at your house, Dustin. There was that one guy who was on the street. He was an African-American man. He said he was younger at the time, and he was by, like, down from the building, the factory building where supposedly Lee Harvey Oswald was, and then he said he heard the shots, and he heard one from upstairs and then another from down the road. And I thought that was kind of strange because, again, that would mean that there's not one but multiple shooters.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Or actually, I don't even think he said it was directly, the first shot was from the building. He just said it was in that direction. He's not sure if it was upstairs or where, so it might not have even been anyone up in the building.
Right. How, like, I mean, you're in shock. Like, you just saw somebody get killed. How, like, reliable is your memory at that point? I mean, could be. I'm just saying you could remember differently. In that
There's a lot of sketchy stuff, and then all those, like, Secret Service agents all over the fucking place.
What's interesting is that he died at the exact same hospital where Oswald was taken after he was shot and where President Kennedy was pronounced dead. I think that's kind of weird too.
That is really weird.
Very.
The hospital's in on it, man. They're the one killing people.
Conspiracies.
Crazy stuff, man.
It's all good cover up.
It's like we get arrested, like tomorrow.
I can see it happening. Take me in. Sorry.
If you don't hear from us, you know why.
Yeah. If you guys don't hear from us in a couple weeks, we're probably dead somewhere. So blame the government. Overthrow. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's probably not something good to say, is it? All right.
No, do
it. We should probably move on. Moon landing.
The moon landing. I know a bunch of people that think that the moon landing was all staged and fake.
Atwood.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Taylor Atwood, believes that the moon landing was all staged and fake. My father's also partially skeptic on some of the things.
I don't know a whole lot about it, but I mean, I don't think it was fake. I don't know. Like I've seen like a video where they were like, "Oh, there's a sea on this rock." You see what you want to see. I mean, it could have been just like the way the light was reflecting and off a crater off the rock, and it was made into a sea. There's like there's this like water stain on this wall. It looked like Saint Mary. Like, I mean, you see what you want to see.
Exactly.
The piece of toast that looked like Jesus Christ.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. You see what you want to see. I think it was real.
Well, I mean, you have the people that are like, man, the flag's waving in the background.
Yeah, that was the big one.
But then they're like, they don't understand that the flag is plastic, and it was made to look like it was waving. You know, it was plastic. It was made to look like it was waving. There's no wind on the moon, obviously, so it wasn't actually waving.
Got to make it look.
It was made to look that way. And you know, there's also like, you know, the fact that we have like a receiver on the moon that was planted there during the last moon mission that sends a signal every day from the moon to an observatory in California or Florida. Maybe it was Florida. I don't know. One of the two. I don't know, man. It's probably a conspiracy.
Another thing, I don't remember who I heard it from, but someone said that they see like cable, like it looked like cables on the ground, and I'm like.
Here's another thing. If the government is making this conspiracy, do you think they're going to leave shit like that out?
I know, really.
No.
You think they're that stupid?
No, they would not mess that up.
But, you know.
Okay, here's the thing. Even back in the 60s, they don't have Twitter, they don't have Facebook, so it's not as connected, obviously. Yeah. But, like, how do you keep something like that a secret for 50 years?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, there were only, like, a few people up there, so I guess
40 years, like.
But still, no.
I mean, how do you?
It's real.
I mean, how do you keep that a secret? I mean, well, the thing is that if they were filming it in another location, then they would have to have like a film crew and like set designers and stuff like that. So they couldn't just like keep all this shit secret.
They did it through the government, and the government paid them off or killed him afterwards. Who knows?
I mean, but I feel like 20 years later, somebody would have said, "Hey, it wasn't real. I have proof."
Now, what would be the reasoning for even
faking it? Well, because we wanted to beat the Russians at any cost.
Yeah. Well, besides, I mean,
maybe not any cost.
But will we really take it to that extreme?
I believe the government would, but I'm sounding very contradictory here. Like the stuff kind of makes sense, but it's definitely not like it's real, dude. It's real.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is that I mean, why fake it? You know, I mean, there's like no reason to fake it. We had the technology. We sent probes there
to beat the Russians in the space race. I mean,
that's a big reason. That's a big achievement. But I mean, that's like
I'd like to believe that we really beat them. Like it wasn't fake.
Yeah, I think we did.
Well, like here's my thing. Like, you know, I read somewhere, I can't remember exactly what the whole situation was, but basically the Russians, like, to fake that, they would have had to like do these crazy extreme measures to like fake the Russians out, to make them think we actually launched a rocket, because the Russians knew it was real because they saw it on radar leaving the atmosphere, and then they heard all the radio traffic because they were spying on us. Like, there was no way that we could have faked it, like, and the Russians wouldn't have found out. They would have known. It's not like we were
exploited.
It's not like the Russians were idiots. I mean, they were right there with us the entire time. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to think that the Russians wouldn't have found out if it was fake, right. And then they would have called us on it the next day. You know, like,
I just don't think there's enough evidence supporting that it was not real.
Yeah, it's America. I believed we made it.
I mean,
I still do.
It's
believe
like
we made it.
It's like a silent like minority of like 10,000 people who think it's a fucking conspiracy, like, and they're just nut jobs.
I really have only heard like a few people be like, "Oh no, that's not real." Yeah. And from day one, it's always been Atwood. He is the only person I can think of that's
Taylor
always
Atwood,
been like,
and then my father, my dad. He never really said so much like directly like it was fake, but he's watched some shows and he'd be like, "Oh, that is kind of weird," and then I say something to just completely flip it around, and he's like, "Yeah, probably. I figured it's real," but yeah, Atwood is the only person that I really know who's like, "It's so fake."
Die
I'll
hard
fight you on it.
Moon landing.
And I mean, he's got a little bit of his own so-called evidence, a few of which we've kind of thrown out that he's piled up over the years.
Whatever anybody else tells
I'm
him.
sure with his family, they're all just like, it's fake, it's fake.
Conspiracy.
All right, so I mean,
Atwood,
we pretty much.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Atwood. Anyway,
We really did put him on.
we put him on blast there for a second. That was like,
Yeah, we did.
I'm not worried about it. Hopefully, he listens to this.
He is a dirty pirate hooker.
You're a dirty pirate hooker.
Go back to your home on Whore Island.
That's exactly okay. Well, we've pretty much established that we don't give a shit about the moon landing because we think it's pretty legit.
So JFK conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Moon landing.
Not a conspiracy.
9/11.
Not a conspiracy.
9/11.
Conspiracy, motherfucker.
See, look at this. This one is going to be very controversial.
This is going to be the one that we're going to battle over.
It's very recent, and they're I believe it's all on Netflix. I know the JFK one, the documentaries on those for the conspiracy JFK are on Netflix, I believe, and on the 9/11 conspiracies. There's a lot of stuff to be said here, and some of it, I mean, is kind of weird. Most of it has to do with the Pentagon, for me, but some of the stuff on the actual towers, I watched. You hear the conspiracy theorist part of it, and you're kind of like, huh, that's strange. And then you see these people who come in and just completely flip it right back around for you. And for me, at least. And I'm just kind of like, okay, these people now look like idiots to me. But Dustin seems to be on the conspiracy part.
There's definitely, like, both sides, have made evidence look in their favor.
Yes,
but no, dude, that was totally... Us niggas wanted oil. we needed a reason to go over to
you see,
Afghanistan.
There's also, like, for me, there's a bunch of reasons why we could have done something like that. Our government maybe set that up.
Let me lay it out for you.
I don't know.
First off, the pilot of that plane, they say that even an expert pilot, to make the turns that he did to go into the tower,
me and you talked about that.
Like, an expert pilot would have trouble doing that. And you're telling me that some fucking... All right, it's about to get a little racist.
Nah,
I get a little pissed.
Crazy terrorist.
Some Arab
jihadist.
that, learned... They say, like... No, that there's just... He couldn't have done it. Like, somebody without training.
Limited training, at
They
least.
say that whoever did it had to have some good-ass training to do that.
Yeah, well, I know that, like, if you watch most of these,
But
they
people
say
get
that
lucky.
the hijackers, I don't know how much training they had, but they did have training prior.
I'm sure. I mean, they
Like,
learned to
for
operate
years.
a
Yeah,
plane.
for years, so, yeah.
But
Of
not
course.
I know, but yeah. What Dustin's saying, we had watched, they said that this turn that one of the planes made into one of the buildings was extremely difficult, even for experts, to make. And they said that, for most theorists, they believe it's highly unlikely that some untrained person could have done that. But yeah.
Right. And, besides that, they showed, like, almost that there was something under the belly of the plane, a black shadow that nothing, like, the bottom of the plane's rounded, so, like, there wouldn't have been anything that would have made a shadow. And, like, it's really hard to see, and it's really kind of far-fetched, to be honest with you. This isn't one of the things that
Really
made me
stand
believe
out,
it,
yeah.
but it's one of the things that you keep in mind. Like, it looked almost like it was just like I said, it was a shadow. It looked almost like it could be a bomb, a missile, something. Something is attached to the underneath of the plane, it looks.
Something like for like a pre-explosion or like on
something. I don't know.
impact or something.
But another thing, and this is where Nick usually gets into me about it. He all right, so when it, right as it's about to hit the tower,
Yeah.
it explodes 4 or 5 floors down. Almost, and now here's what they say. They say that there was bombs planted there to explode right when the plane hit it.
Like in the building?
In the building.
Yeah, that's the big thing
And you
on
can
the
see
theory.
it,
that I
right
hear.
when honestly, I don't even think it had, completely hit it yet. Right when it was about to hit it, bang.
You
see explosions.
And obviously, if you're watching it, like you're not gonna be able to see that if you're there, like watching it or see like a video. You're not gonna but if you get it slowed down, you can see it.
Now you see, that's another thing. Like with these pre-placed bombs in both the towers. When we had watched the videos, usually they show the conspiracy theorist part of it first, and then and that's another thing with these, shows. For me, I feel it's kind of ironic that if this was a conspiracy theory, that they would show it in that order. Like they do this just so people can get their word out there, and then they let the people who are supposedly professionals come back through and completely bash all of the conspiracy theorist kind of ideas. But in the show, they show, or the conspiracy people talk about these bombs being placed in both the towers, and then they have the professionals come in on how it's pretty much impossible that they could have placed all these bombs, because they talked about having a certain, like the conspiracy people had like a certain number of bombs that were placed, and they were like every so many levels. Mm-hmm. And the professionals came in and they're like, well, if they did that, they'd have to go in each like elevator shaft, like every so many floors, and it would take a pretty decent amount of time to place all these bombs, and that there would be no way in the middle of however much time they had to do that without, first of all, anyone noticing, and secondly, holding up everybody, because they were both very busy towers. You know what I mean? So,
at the same time, though, you'd be surprised what the government could do. They could totally just be like, "Oh, construction," or "Don't go up to this level," or "It's elevator's broken," whatever.
But hold on, I'm sorry. But
you're
the
fine.
thing with the construction is, because I was like, well, you see that kind of stuff in movies, like when stuff's going undercover, you see like construction sites that are really like something crazy going on. But they said that during those time periods that there was no type of construction being done at all. So that was, because when I first heard it, I'm like, haha, maybe the government is up to something. And then they're like, but if you look back at these dates, like even for the past so many years, there have been no planned construction of any kind on any floor of the place, Mm-hmm. That would at least give these people enough time to do it. You know what I mean? There might have been some kind of construction, but it wouldn't have been long enough for these people to go.
Now, I'm not sure about, like you said, like each floor had bombs. I don't know about that, because then it would have been obvious. Like there's explosion. But if it was just one floor, I could see it. Like if it was an empty floor, nobody's in there, no offices, which it would be, kind of unrealistic, maybe, if you think about it, because that's the World Trade Center. But
right
at the same time, you never know, dude. We weren't there.
I mean, I am looking, like right now, I am looking at footage of the second plane hit, and I don't really see it.
Okay.
So, I mean, Jack, why don't you take a look at this real quick? All right.
Taking a look.
Okay. Just make sure everything's still recording. Okay. Check it out. Plane hits at around 24, 26.
Building smoking.
Right. The
second
building
tower.
1, yeah.
Yeah.
And now building 2.
No. Yeah, that one.
That's
what I'm
saying.
Was it the first? Yeah. Because there's not a lot of footage of the first one getting hit.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was the first.
You also have to remember that some of these videos that these theorists are showing are also can be from different angles.
Yeah,
so
this
from
is like
one side of the building.
Yeah, this is an angle
all the way on the other side of New York or whatever it could have looked like.
Now this is just an angle of the side the plane is hitting, really, really close. So it's kind of easy from this angle to see up close what happened, and it doesn't look like it. Now, I'm not saying that I don't see any footage of Building 1 getting hit, because there weren't a lot of people that saw Building 1 get hit.
They weren't
with camcorders, at least. But from what I can see from Building 2, from that angle, I didn't see anything.
On this video, it's a close-up shot. It looks like someone's standing maybe on the street or by a nearby building.
It's guy set up a video camera on his balcony.
And one of the first building was smoking, but you see the second building completely clear. And you see the plane come in from the left, and it just crushes into the building, and then you see it just kind of blow out and explode. So that one, I won't say it disproves anything, but you don't see any, prior explosion before the plane goes in.
Yeah, I mean, there's number 2 getting hit again.
Yeah.
This is from ABC. This was a helicopter recording.
Now let me say something about these placed bombs kind of theory. In the video I watched, they said not only was it when the plane entered, but they showed videos, a lot of videos, of both the towers like smoking, like after the planes had hit, and then they would like zoom in on where the smoke was coming out, and then like a few, like right before they fell down, like a few like floors below, you'd see some debris coming out of windows. And they were trying to say that those were explosions that placed bombs to like drop the buildings. And that's something else that they try to disprove in the videos, because they had like a lot of construction guys, like professional long-term construction people, come in and say that, well, if they're sitting there burning and, you know, that impact had been a few hours prior, that things are going to start collapsing on top of themselves, like from the floors above, because the structure is getting weak. And as the floors start collapsing on themselves, before you see the outside of the building fall, that inside stuff's going to go down, and then the debris is going to shoot out.
But I'm saying, like, right in the beginning, dude, like, before smoke, like, the first initial hit is what I'm talking about.
I don't see it, but I can't see
video somewhere.
I know,
like, I got the information somewhere.
There's so much.
I mean, here, there's only one video of number one getting hit. It was right there.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible angle.
I remember them showing that on the news, because you hear it, you know?
Yeah.
Because
this is terrible. You can't see anything.
This video shows a bunch of firefighters a few blocks away.
Yeah.
And we have no audio, but I remember seeing it. Like, they play it usually every year around that time. But you see the firefighter look up to the sky, because you hear the jet just flying in. And he looks to his right, but it would be to whoever's holding the camera's left. And they look up, right now, and then you see the plane go in. But, yeah. I don't know. I mean, and that's the first tower, right?
Yeah, that's Tower 1.
And I mean,
it's hard to tell because it's such bad video.
Because you're seeing, like, the tail end of the plane. Like, you're looking down the street, like, from behind. So there's no one recording in front of the building because, like we said, no one was planning on any of this happening. But, well, hopefully there was anybody planning on this happening.
Yeah, really.
But, I mean, I saw the plane hit and then some explosions, but maybe a little bit, like, on the left side. Because, I mean, it was kind of a big fireball.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, who knows? It's hard to tell. The video on Building 1, there's only 2 known videos.
But the big thing with those pre-placed bombs, I said, on the videos, like the point that the theorists were trying to point out is when after the buildings had been hit by the planes, those it looked like they zoomed
little
up
mini explosions.
And you see those little, they thought they were mini explosions, like placed bombs.
No, I believe that. Like what you were saying, like with the like the pressure and shit falling down. Now I believe that part, like the explosions you may see. Yeah. Those may be from that. Yeah. I believe that part.
But I'm telling you, dude, you watch those videos and those theorists were like flipping out about it. Like they would like pause. It was almost like watching Ancient Aliens with the guy with the crazy hair. Like that's how enthusiastic they were. Like they would just like show a clip and then they'd come back to whoever it was that was talking. They're like, okay, now you cannot tell me. You cannot sit there and tell me in any type of opinion that was not some sort of placed bomb. And I'm just like, no. Now that was. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it was clearly the building collapsing on itself and then debris flying through.
Now, I hate to like bring it right back to the Pentagon, but if you can tell me that ain't a piece of a plane right there.
I mean, it could be a mailbox.
It could be I guess it could be a cruise missile right there in front of the Pentagon. Well, shit, conspiracy theorists.
Well, hold on.
What are we looking at?
Wikipedia?
Yes, this is on Wikipedia. It doesn't look shop to me.
Well,
I don't know.
Looks like a piece of maybe some missile to me.
Oh, whatever. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm serious. Look how small that is. They said it was a big ass jet, dude.
That's a small.
All right, now we're getting into the Pentagon. This is what does it.
This is where we get into
it. Okay, this is legit.
Okay, here's what they found they found the wreckage in the wreckage. They found Flight 77's black box, both of them, the nose cone, landing gear, an airplane tire, and an intact cockpit seat.
Well, I've always heard that they didn't find anything. Like in the videos I've watched, they didn't find that shit.
That's just what it says they found. And again, like I said, it's Wikipedia. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
you can't really edit these kind of articles. They won't let you.
From what I saw, and heard and have read on this, the hole the hole in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
It's not big enough.
That was big. That was the big crash. Like skeptical
they like
kind of.
And when they showed a picture of the hole, you can even see like there's a like right on the outside of the hole, like right where like it went through. There's a book open, not burnt, not.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Nothing's wrong with it. So it's like what?
Okay.
How did that happen? They say it could have been a missile.
Here's what Meet Sozin, a professor of civil engineering at Purdue University, argues that a crashing jet doesn't punch a cartoon-like outline of itself into a reinforced concrete building. When Flight 77 hit the Pentagon, one wing hit the ground and the other was sheared off by the Pentagon's load-bearing columns. According to Architecture Week, a magazine, I believe, the reason the Pentagon took relatively little damage was from the impact was because Wedge 1 had recently been renovated, which part of a renovation program which begun in the 1980s.
My problem with that is, like with the cartoon hole and shit, I agree
Obviously,
with that, but nothing makes a smaller hole than itself. The plane was bigger than the hole, even not counting the wings. That was.
But it's like the thing is it's like reinforced concrete against aluminum.
It's
just like a tree. But it's just like a tree getting. It's like a tree getting hit by a car. The tree receives relatively little damage compared to the car. It's because the tree is a standing object, completely motionless, with a vehicle stationary, with a vehicle hitting it at speed. The big trees usually don't get bent out of shape when a car hits them. The car, however, gets wrapped around it.
Well, it isn't a car.
It's a reinforced concrete building and an aluminum jet. But it's aluminum.
However fast.
500, 600 miles an hour, maybe. 400 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's gonna.
But seriously, it's like reinforced concrete.
Then how did it make any hole at all?
I don't know.
The missile.
No.
Yes. You're just proving my point even more, Nick. You're like, oh no, a plane couldn't have done that, or an aluminum plane against a big ass wall. No.
Well, there were phone calls from Flight 77 reporting that the airplane had been hijacked. Renee May called her mother to tell her that the plane had been hijacked and that the passengers had been herded to the back of the plane. There are multiple eyewitness accounts of a plane hitting the Pentagon. There were 10 or 15 streetlights knocked over on the highway by the plane as it flew low to hit the Pentagon. And there was a gigantic generator knocked over by it as it hit the Pentagon as well.
Yeah, because that was another video we watched.
Yeah.
About
the one that gets me is the generator, because this is like a 6-ton generator. It wouldn't get knocked over by jet wash from a missile flying over, no matter what the speed. It would have to have made contact, and if it made contact with the generator, it would have exploded.
Yeah, true.
So that's the one that gets me. Like, I looked at the footage. I looked at the security camera footage. The one that's like right in front of the Pentagon. The thing comes in from the right. I watched that. You can't tell. It's shitty footage. It's moving too fast to catch whatever it was. You see the nose of whatever it is.
Yeah.
So from that footage, you could never tell. But it's the other things like the generator, the street lights, the eyewitness accounts, the people calling from the plane, stuff like that. That really gets it. For me, I understand. Like there's little. You look at this picture of the Pentagon right here that they've got.
It looks.
And that's a relatively. That's a pretty big section for.
You see on the picture of the crash site, the part of the building that's actually collapsed, but there's also a lot of. It's probably from the explosion, but side to side, there seems to be a big amount of damage.
Yeah, it would have burned that entire section.
And you also have to think of how the plane was coming in, because
it clipped the ground here.
Yeah, because if it came in kind of sideways, I could believe that. Like maybe it came in, sliced through, and then tumbled a little bit, and then just kind of.
Right, because the thing is that aluminum. You can take aluminum and bend it in your hands.
Yeah.
Aircraft aluminum is not a strong material, and especially carrying that much jet fuel. You're looking at the aluminum hitting the concrete, bending and then exploding.
That would have blown that bitch to pieces.
It's reinforced concrete though.
These types of government
probably would take steps to.
The Pentagon. It's the Pentagon.
Dude, all I'm saying is, why was there you read that there was shit found, but until literally this second, everything I've seen, they said that you couldn't find shit. I'm saying there's at least gonna be
because I've watched.
They're not gonna vaporize the luggage and shit from the explosion. Like there was not luggage. There was not. From what I've seen, like I said, you read something a little different, but from what I've seen from like shows that I think would be probably a little bit more.
They're a little bit more.
They would know their information a little bit more than the internet.
Now you see on this Wikipedia thing that he's reading, and he talked about what was found of the wreckage. It just seems like that's like common stuff that you would say would have been found. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if this was a cover up,
I'm saying
the
you
government
would
would be like,
definitely
oh yeah, well
plane.
there was landing gear, there were pieces of the cockpit, there were some seats. It's like,
but there was no pieces of the plane.
They don't. There wasn't like any.
Like that's what I'm saying. A jet crashes somewhere, there's going to be wreckage. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's all about what you believe. You got to watch it. You got to get. Everybody has their own opinions and their own evidence to support their opinion. Like Nick said, there's a few things that like I really couldn't argue with.
I mean, who knows?
But
Maybe there
don't
was
know.
a pre-explosion on the plane before it hit the building, and half of it was incinerated before it touched anything.
And Nick's now looking at some photos with some
from
detail.
inside the Pentagon. Yeah.
There's like red arrows pointing to objects and stuff. It's pretty fucking legit. That's all I know.
But yeah, the whole Pentagon thing is really that one was sketchy to me.
That's
no
the
matter,
most
the part of the whole show I watched on that really kind of made me skeptical was the security footage, because although it's horrible view, it's horrible whatever, it's still live footage. It's pretty much the only live feed you have. Exactly. You know, and
you just don't know.
Yeah, because it's very sketchy.
Nick,
There's
I'd like
a
to
picture.
watch the 9/11 conspiracy video with you sometime, just to like banter with you,
absolutely.
just sit side by side.
I mean, like here's a picture. You can't. Okay, the thing is that obviously there's nothing that confirms that this picture is from the Pentagon.
Exactly.
But that's a picture allegedly from the Pentagon of a wheel bearing.
Yeah,
or
it
a
looks
rim
like a rim
from a 757. So there, I mean, you look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks exactly like it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's weird arrows pointing everywhere. Like, you know, there's a tire right there, maybe, possibly.
Again, I'm trying not to believe.
Right, I'm not trying to believe everything we see, but I mean,
we have found.
You know, that's a piece of a landing gear.
Yeah. The stuff was just.
That looks like that doesn't look like a
That looks like a piece of the framing for like the side of the plane.
Right.
Which,
you know,
honestly, that's all. Like Dustin said, I haven't seen much until now because because everything I've watched, they've said we haven't found very much of the plane.
That's what I'm saying.
And
It's
I'm
like all these
a
years,
big old
none of
plane
this
like
information
that,
surfaced.
There's really no debris. Are you serious? Man. Yeah, sorry. We're scrolling through some photos of the Twin Towers and people, and it's just ridiculous. Every time I see it, I get
chills
and kind of pissed off.
Yeah, me too.
Emotional.
Yeah.
I get emotional. It's America. What can I say?
All right, well, we've probably bantered on about this long enough. Dustin has a mystery topic that he wants to discuss with us before we end it off here.
The final conspiracy that I hear a shit ton about to date, Spencer Dillinger is a hardcore believer in it.
Okay.
Is Tupac dead?
Is Tupac dead? That's an interesting one.
Okay, well, here's not my theory, but I know an elderly man who Tupac, Elvis, Chris Farley, and a bunch of other famous people are on some sort of hidden island, possibly maybe their own individual.
That sounds really far-fetched.
I know.
I'd like to believe it, though.
It's like, he's real big on Elvis because he's a huge Elvis fan back in his day. But, you know.
I'd be pretty damn certain that Elvis is dead.
I know, but you gotta, I know. Think about it. They have enough money, you know, to
Jack,
do.
And that's what I'm
If
saying.
they want to disappear, they could disappear.
Jack, I'm pretty sure that our mic just went off.
Hello?
I don't know. Dustin, figure it out. Talk for us.
Well, so the theory is that Tupac, like, is living in Jamaica somewhere.
Smoking reefer.
Obviously. And, like, now here's what, I mean, like, if everybody thinks that, you'd think people would go searching for him and shit, but at the same time, dude, if you're on, like, a remote location of Jamaica and, you know, he's black, he grows out his hair, he grows out his facial hair, like, not, come on, like, how are you, can you, that he never had, like, hair or facial hair, so he would look completely different. So that's just like, maybe. They say Spencer says that he's coming back next year. Like, that's been the plan. That he escaped to get away from gang shit, and then he's just been biding his time, which would be cool, like, if he came back.
Yeah, now, the other thing is, like, with people like Tupac and him being, like, so popular, you know? It's like, if he did run away to somewhere like that, you have to think. If he ran into anybody, any of the locals, and he told them who he was and what his plan was, I feel like they might keep it on the DL for him. You know what I mean?
Tell them.
I know. But I'm saying if he did, you know, if he said, or someone discovered, he was like, keep it on the DL. I feel like people would be like, respect, you know? They'd be like, yeah, I got
It's
you.
fucking Tupac.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely think that that Tupac could be alive. I'm not totally sure. I mean, who knows, really?
We'll
you
see
know,
next year.
Hell, maybe Biggie is alive. Like, I don't know about Biggie. Biggie definitely got shot.
Dead.
He might be dead. Well, thanks, Dustin. That was a good little mystery topic there. It actually is kind of a conspiracy theory.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so yeah, we're running off one mic right now, so that's why nobody else is talking. We had a technical difficulty with our microphone, but we are gonna end it off like we usually do: marry one, kill one, fuck one. I'm gonna go first, actually, because I think I've got a pretty decent one. I am going to give this to Mr. Harper. Oh, okay. The theme is supervillains or superheroes, or is it just supervillains?
Either or. It could be good ones or horrible ones.
Okay, so I'm posing this to Jack, and for Jack I have Solomon Grundy, Mr. Freeze, and Dr. Octopus.
who is Solomon Grundy?
Solomon Grundy is the big undead zombie guy from Batman.
Okay, so I have Solomon Grundy, Mr. Freeze, and
Doc Ock.
Doc
Dr.
Ock.
Octopus from Spider-Man.
Okay.
Metal tentacles with a hand job is a must with Dr. Octopus, just so you know.
Okay, let me think. I'd probably kill Doc Ock just because I don't want that shit around me. I'd probably marry Solomon Grundy just so I'm going to assume that it's a non-sexual relationship. And
Dude, you're married. He can
me and Mr. Hey, I'll be the man in a relationship. Okay, I'll be legal. Yeah, either way, he's a big motherfucker. And I'd probably fuck the shit out of Mr. Freeze. I'm just saying, he's got that popsicle like.
Obviously, you like it cold.
Yes, I do. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine to Nick, and I just want to inform everybody that I kind of looked up some of the worst superheroes of all time. And I mean, you may have to look some of these up because I was just stunned to find these. But the first one is Matter Eater Lad. I'm not even sure what the hell he does. Okay, this one really got me. Arm Fall Off Boy. And then Aqualad. Aqualad. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick. Who would you marry, kill, and fuck?
Okay, so I have no idea who any of these people are. So I'm actually running Google searches on them right now. Shit! I went to Twitter.
I got you right here.
Damn it, I went to Twitter on accident. I have them all up, except for Aqualad.
Right.
I'm working on that one. Okay, so Matter Eater Boy probably would give a fantastic blowjob. So I'm going to go with him. I mean, in the picture right here, he's eating metal piping. I'm going to fuck him. Okay, that had to be the worst re-intro ever. We had technical difficulties again, everybody, so I don't know if this microphone's still working, but anyway, so I just talked about Matter Eater Boy giving good blowjobs, yes. So I'm definitely going to fuck him. Arm Fall Off Boy is just... He's just the worst superhero I have ever seen.
About? He is my hero.
My life. He is literally the worst. Aqualad is a black guy. So
hey, he was white in the photo I saw.
Aqualad's black. So
you're gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill him.
Whoa!
No, I'm just kidding.
Like that.
I am
Not
just
like
kidding.
That.
No.
Be true to yourself.
He was in the Teen Titans. So I'm going to marry Aqualad because I love that show so much. and I'm going to kill the shit out of Arm Fall Off Boy because he's just the worst superhero ever, basically.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, but that's just terrible. He's the worst. That's the worst I've ever seen. Okay, you want to go ahead, Dustin?
All right. I'm going to pose this one to... I'm going to go with Jack. All right.
Surprise there.
Marry one, kill one, fuck one. You got the Hulk. You got Jason Stryker, the dude in the wheelchair from X-Men, the kid. Not Professor X, but he's a child, too. Keep that in mind. And Magneto. Actually, you know what? Just to throw in the broken back theme with you, we're going to throw in Professor X instead of Magneto. So you're going to fuck one of two paraplegics. That's...
So, the Striker is the other Striker's son, right?
Yes.
The like
General
crazy,
Stryker's son.
weird mutant. Okay, so I have the Hulk and two guys in a wheelchair. Lucky me. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Just for a conference here, if you think about it, Professor Xavier can probably do some pretty fucked up shit with his mind.
Exactly.
So, I mean, let's just throw that out there.
Or good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll probably wait. No. You got to think. If you're sticking me with an all male cast, I'm gonna get me some, and you know the Hulk's packing. So I'm
gonna tear your ass.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. I'd probably fuck the shit out of Professor X, or maybe the other way around. You know, it might be some sort of mind game.
He can't fuck you. He can't walk.
Okay, and I'm killing the Striker dude because last time I saw X-Men 2, that part creeps the shit out of me. It's weird. He's weird. I'm killing him, and then I'd probably marry the Hulk. You know, and I know he's got anger issues, but on a good day, if I catch him as his like human side,
Bruce Banner.
You like to get slapped around is the thing.
I mean, kind of true. So, yeah, that was a healthy round of marry one, kill one, fuck one. I enjoyed that.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to be signing off here. I'm going to pass the mic around one more time since we're running off the blue snowball that I'm holding in my hands right now. Feel like a radio DJ. This has been Supervision Required. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for our minor technical gaffes. We're not going to back to record it again. That's too much work. We're lazy bastards. So, I'll catch you next week, hopefully, and we'll see you guys later. This is Nick Schuler signing off. Jack?
Hope you guys had fun talking about conspiracies. It's all a conspiracy, man. Yeah, it's true. JFK, moon landing, 9/11, mystery topic of Tupac. It's legit. I love you guys. Peace out.
Well, you've heard a bunch of bullshit from Nick come out tonight. So, just you know the truth about what we've talked about and the fucking with the Hulk. But another successful night, I'd say, boys. This is Dustin signing off.